In 2007, 28-year-old Jennifer was raising her 3 kids in Sacramento, California, with her husband Billy. Though both parents worked hard to provide a good life for their young children, they had yet to be able to give them something they really wanted, a Wii gaming system. So when 107.9 The End, a popular radio station at the time, offered the chance to participate in a contest for a Wii, Jennifer, a regular listener, did not hesitate to enter. On Friday, January 12th, 2007, Jennifer would show up to Intercom's location where they produced a morning radio show for an in-person contest called Hold Your Wii for a Wii. By 2 p.m., Jennifer would be found beyond help as a direct result of the contest, where contestants had been required to consume 16 ounces of water every 10 minutes. Jennifer had consumed 2 gallons of water in 3 hours, only to win runner-up in the contest for a prize of 2 concert tickets instead of a Wii for her kids. She complained of feeling unwell with headache and lightheadedness. She would call into work and go home only to pass out in her bathroom at home. A devastated Billy, her husband, would eventually pursue legal action, and the jury would grant him a $16.5 million award in light of the station's negligence. During litigation, it was revealed that several people had contacted the station during the tragic stunt and expressed concern for the contestants. Even a nurse had entreated the disc jockeys to at least provide the contestants with some form of salt, like a sports drink, to make the activity safer. Unfortunately, these warnings were ignored, leading to Jennifer's condition of severe hyponatremia or water poisoning, a condition we will return to later. But first, let's discuss hyponatremia and the MCAT, the Medical College Admissions Test. What if you are given a passage containing this information? TBW equals total body water. 55% of total body water is located within the cells of the body. 27.5% is located just outside cells as extracellular fluids, such as blood, plasma, or lymph fluid. And the rest of the body's water, the smallest percentage, is located in subcompartments like the digestive tract and the urinary tract. Then, what if you are given a question asking where the lowest concentration would be found in the body if a dye were injected that penetrated all fluids of the body? Well, that question might present something like this. A dye marker that can penetrate all fluids of the body is injected to measure concentration. According to the passage, which of the following body fluids will have the lowest concentration of this marker? A. Intracellular fluid, B. Blood plasma, C. Lymph, or D. Urinary tract subcompartment. What will your answer be? The answer is A. Intracellular fluid. Fluid with a high water percentage will have a low solute concentration. This falls under the MCAT topic of simple dilution. Before I explain further, this is the actual excerpt of the passage from which I pull the bullet points to guide you to the correct answer. When you take the test, you'll have to form mental bullet points on your own from paragraphs like these. Intracellular fluid, ICF, is contained within the membrane of each cell. ICF accounts for about 55% of total body water, TBW, and 2/3 of body weight. Extracellular fluid, ECF, is the fluid in which body cells are bathed. It is present outside body cells and can be further divided into 2 different subcompartments: interstitial fluid, IF, and lymph. Interstitial fluid and lymph comprises 20% of TBW. Blood plasma adds another 8%. Together, the interstitial fluid and the plasma make up about 27.5%, or roughly 1/3 of TBW. Other extracellular fluids are found in specialized subcompartments, such as the digestive tract, urinary tract, bone, and lubricating fluids around organs and joints. And that's just a portion of the passage you would have been given. The full passage is 5 paragraphs, among which you are given 1 equation, and there are actually 7 questions to answer. Among those 7, the one I gave here was the easiest. Returning to the question, as I said, A, intracellular fluid was the correct answer. Fluid with a high water percentage will have a low solute concentration. This is the concept of simple diffusion. According to the passage, intracellular fluid, ICF, accounts for 2/3 of the body water, TBW, and thus would show the lowest solute or marker concentration. Answer choices B, C, D all represent extracellular fluid, ECF. To answer this question, you would necessarily recall the concept of simple dilution. In this question, the solvent is water. The solute is the dye. Putting these two items together leads to the simplest of all possible dilutions. A single solute added to a solvent. This condition expressed as a fraction gives us the concentration. If we have 5 particles of solute to 10 particles of solvent, that concentration will be higher than 5 particles of solute to 20 particles of solvent. So 5 units of dye, or the solute, over 10 units of solvent, or water, in this case, in the extracellular compartment, will be at a higher concentration than 5 units of the dye to 20 units of the solvent, or total body water, in the intracellular compartment. A fluid with a high water percentage will have low solute concentration. This is why A, intracellular fluid, was the correct answer. The topic of dilution was part of the necessary education for the jury in the case brought by Billy for what happened to his wife, Jennifer. It was determined that the cause was hyponatremia, or a condition of low salt concentration. Jennifer had consumed a large amount of water, the solvent within our body. She added lots of solvent and no solute, no food, sports drinks, or something else containing one of our important solutes, salt. Her kidneys could not filter the water and push it out of her body fast enough to avoid a serious imbalance with her body's fluids and concentrations. Since cells have particles, recalling the principles of osmosis, it follows that the dilute water outside her cells with few particles will now be rushing into her cells all throughout her body, including into the brain cells in her body, leading to her complaints of pain and lightheadedness. This process is also leading to swelling of the brain tissue, since tissues are composed of cells. Among the many serious problems with this is the inability of the adult skull to expand to accommodate a swelling brain. And once structures of the brain are compressed, that in itself is quite dangerous. There is also the exploding red blood cells no longer able to deliver essential oxygen to the brain. The sad fact is there was most likely more dysfunction of Jennifer's anatomical structures and physiological processes than I can get into here, all resulting from her hyponatremic or low sodium and overhydrated status. It is an unspeakably tragic story, and I hope that the jury's award brought a sense of justice to her family and education to the public of how dangerous it can be to physically engage in any extreme physical activity without medical clearance. Regarding the MCAT content here, this was one of the longer study break videos because I covered a passage question. You may be feeling a bit overwhelmed, especially if you did not get the question correct. If you are a pre-med student considering taking the MCAT and this whole presentation has you anxious, here is where I speak to that. The only way you improve with passage questions, besides learning as much foundational knowledge as possible, is to practice them. The passage questions of the MCAT demands you think and perform in a very cognitively arcane way from the manner in which any human operates in normal everyday life. Fully licensed doctors don't function this way daily. Just ask any of them, and most of them don't even want to discuss the MCAT. They are just glad it's over and that they got through it. I am here to tell you that you can too. And if you don't believe that, then maybe you can benefit from individualized coaching and tutoring. I have worked with pre-med students for over a decade, many of whom struggled with the medical college admissions test, and indeed landed the score they needed to land the medical college spot they wanted. And I am more proud of their stories than I am of my own short-lived medical career. I'm the ugly doctor, and my story isn't pretty, but I'm here to tell it so that yours turns out better. See you next time.